As you're all aware, my name is Kevin Upman. I am 35 years old. I've been divorced twice. I have one daughter. When I look back at my life, I'm reminded of a quote given by Mother Teresa. It states, "I know God will not give me anything I can't handle. I just wish He didn't trust me so much." Before I go into telling you about a few events that happened in my life, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my background growing up. My family was basically a low-income family. I was raised on a little hobby farm outside of Burton, Wisconsin, which is located approximately 8 miles between Cassville and Potosi each direction. The farm was only 50 acres and 13 acres tillable, so we could only raise about 7 or 8 head of cattle at a time. My father did not have much of an education other than for a GED. Therefore, he resulted in working construction work and cutting wood for people on the side. My mother, on the other hand, actually had a degree as a CNA. She worked at the Lancaster nursing home for many, many years. In December of 1990, my father passed away in a logging accident. I was only 14 at the time. This was particularly rough for all of us because it was the first time we had lost a close family member. You know how they say when somebody passes away, they tend to go in threes? Well, in my case, it couldn't have been further from the truth. The following year, in '91, I had a close uncle that committed suicide. And then that was followed in '92 by my mother passing away. She was a diabetic and she died in the middle of the night from an insulin reaction. So this was pretty tough for me because I was only 17 at the time that my mother passed away. At this time, I'd like to show you a photo of me and my parents taken approximately 1 year before my father had passed. Of course, that's me in the background. My dad, Richard. My mother's name was Carol. After my parents passed away, it led to a period of depression in my life because there I was, 17 years old, a junior in high school, with a farm to take care of, bills to pay, and all the responsibilities of an adult, even though I was a teenager. Rather than taking on the responsibilities, I turned to partying every weekend, inviting all my friends out, having no respect for the value of the dollar. If I saw something, I just went out and bought it, and basically blew most of my inheritance of what little that I did have. As fun as this period may have seemed, it was short-lived because in 1993, my daughter was conceived. This was a godsend in a sense because it had told me in a way that, okay, it is time to wake up. Time to grow up and accept responsibilities because now you have a child to support. With this in mind, I dropped out of school after my junior year. And then I went and applied for a job and was able to get a job working nights full-time for a cleaning service. Meanwhile, during the daytime, I came to Southwest Tech to earn my HSED. At this time, I would like to show you a couple pictures of my daughter. This picture is one of my favorites. It was taken back around 1990. My daughter was only 5, I believe, at the time. It was actually taken at my brother's first wedding. And here is a more recent picture of my daughter. She is 16 years old at this time. After my daughter was born, I soon realized that working for a cleaning service was hardly enough to pay for the bills and to pay for our expenses with taking care of her. So therefore, I also decided that it was time for me to change careers because I was not going to be happy doing janitorial work the rest of my life. Therefore, I applied for a job at DeLeo Machining in Platteville as a CNC machine operator. I enjoyed this career and I worked my way up from the bottom of the totem pole, basically. Within a few years, I was making double the pay that I would have ever even expected to make working for a cleaning service. And I became quite skilled at what I did as a CNC machinist. I had worked there for many years until 2007. I was in a motorcycle accident in which I hit a tree and lost my leg immediately. However, I do not blame it on the motorcycle because I had been drinking all that day and I should have known better than to get on my motorcycle in the first place. I was hot dogging it, leaving the bar, and I took a corner too fast. My motorcycle veered into the wrong lane and there was an oncoming SUV. I had two choices, either hit the SUV head on or go off the road. Unfortunately, I was going so fast that I flew off the road and went directly into a tree. However, my motorcycle is still something that I'm very proud of and plan on riding again one day. I would like to show you a picture of my Harley before the accident. Unfortunately, I do not have any pictures of it now that are current. It is a 2003 Harley Davidson 100th anniversary gold key package 1200 custom Sportster. After losing my leg in a motorcycle accident, approximately 1 year later, my boss finally decided that I was not going to be capable of doing my duties at work. There was no way I was going to stand on a concrete floor with steel-toed boots on for 8 hours a day. Also, the economy was becoming very poor, considering most of our work was making parts for John Deere, which were going through a terrible financial time. Therefore, my boss decided it would be best to just let me go so I could collect disability benefits rather than having me come back to work and then terminating me. A lot of people will look back at these events and be depressed and just want to give up on their lives. Me, on the other hand, I see it as the beginning of a new chapter in my life. a fresh beginning. Therefore, that is why I'm here today taking up the networking program to get a proper career, and most important thing is to be a proper role model for my daughter. So these changed events have given me the willpower to succeed, a positive attitude, and respect for my life. If it weren't for these events, I cannot probably deal with everyday struggles. So even though things appear gloomy at times, these are the things which make me stronger. Would anybody have any questions for me at this time? Yes. My daughter's name is Samantha.
And she is very beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
So Kevin, how long did it take you to recuperate from your accident?
After my accident, I was in the hospital for approximately 1 month, and it took me close to 1.5 years before I was able to walk on a prosthetic, because they had not shaved down the bones of my leg enough the first time they closed me up. So I had to go back in and have a reconstructive or revision surgery done. So it was tough going. Always a challenge.
You did it.
That's right. Yes.
Did your drinking and driving accident change your friends' minds on drinking and driving?
It did. My drinking and driving accident did make my friends realize that they should keep a closer eye on things and have a designated driver when they can. Thank you.